Hey, hey, hey. Welcome. Welcome to Ask Marsha. So, this evening, just want to talk to you a little bit about burnout, right? As summer starts to close, it's already August, and parents are getting ready to send their kids back. And some kids are already back into school, already had their first couple of days. And so it's just kind of talking about getting into the routine. So it's not just with parents, it's also can be people who don't have children because the fall is about to be here. I'm not trying to bring it early, but it's getting back into the swing of things. And something I think is really important for people is to just kind of how do you gradually get back into the swing of things, right? How do you make sure you get a good night's rest? How do you make sure that you're still socializing and you're just kind of transitioning back into work and it's not summertime? So, something I want to talk to you about is kind of parents, right? How can you readjust yourself to the new school schedule? Your children have gotten a year older at a new grade level. And some things I think that are really important at the beginning of the school year is even before the school starts, is kind of how do you start really getting into routine within the next 2 to 3 weeks before school starts? How do you set, the time? Like when do they go to sleep? What does that look like? What are they eating? What are they watching? What are they consuming on different levels? So you can make sure that you're aware of the things that may be causing them stress, anxiousness, happiness, excitement. So one of the things I think is really important is just kind of what are you consuming as a parent, but also what are your children consuming. So I know sometimes parents let their children play video games kind of unlimited during the summertime. So now would be the good time if it's 2 or 3 weeks before school or even a week before school is not having unlimited um, entertainment centers, right? Playing games. Because then when it's time to shut down and it's the night before, you haven't weaned them off the games. So it's really taking time to implement the school schedule back into the schedule before it's school. Because then that gives parents and kids the opportunity to really um, find a way to kind of smooth things out, to comb the kinks out. And that's really important. And so, something your kids can do, one of the things you and your kids can do is that you guys can kind of sit down and talk about a schedule. So, this is where you're teaching autonomy. You're teaching them what do they need and what they want. And you're giving them responsibility to really be able to execute this schedule. It's not a schedule that their parents tell them to use, it's not a schedule that their teachers tell them to navigate, but they had a component in creating that schedule. And parents, and not even non parents, we got to think about your schedule. What do you need? What fills you up? Summertime fulfillment is something totally different than fall, winter fulfillment. So, if it's getting in the last kind of couple trips or really being diligent about meeting with friends and being there with friends and like socializing, you really need to think about what you need. Because if you've been going 95 miles per hour and then you got to downshift because it's no longer summertime, understand that there's a likelihood that you are going to crash. You're going to potentially burn out. And so something I want you to do is kind of for people who parents and non-parents is take an inventory of what did you enjoy about your summer? How did it really speak to your mental health wellness? What did that do for you? And you can take those components and then put it into your schedule for the fall and winter time. And that might look totally different. So, something that I've really enjoyed during the summer months is that I've been very flexible. I haven't worked as much. I've had alone time. I've had an opportunity to read. And so, for me, for my fall schedule with my clients, I've changed a day that instead of Saturday, I see my clients on Friday. So then I have an opportunity to have a weekend and weekends to myself to do whatever I need to do. So that's something that I learned from the summer. So that's something that I took from the summer and then I placed into my fall schedule. And I'm excited about it. And I'm excited to see what's going to come about. So, something I just want you to think about is what are some things that you liked about your summer schedule that contributed to your wellness and some of the things that you didn't. So, at the beginning of this summer schedule, I was working and I probably only had one weekend off. I didn't like that. So, what I did I started shifting in the middle of the summer and I enjoyed that. And so I'm going to really carry it through. Something also I enjoyed was really being able to do self-care Saturdays, and that meant like acupuncture, floating, um Reiki, massage. And so that's something that I did for myself that I'm going to implement because it really rounds out the week for me. It really gives me this boost to really kind of step into myself and really rejuvenate, find respite, and find healing from the week. So I want you to think about that. Something, parents, I want you to do is when your kids start school is really talk to your kids about the personalities they're engaging with, right? What are some of the personalities they like? What do they not like? But also about themselves. What have they noticed as they enter school? What have they noticed during the summertime that they've learned about themselves and what you've learned about yourself? And just share those things. I think being able to have a time of reflection is really important as you transition to another school year, another season. And so it gets you guys in this groove of what did you like, what did you not like? What do you want to do more of? What do you not want to do more of? Who did you grow out of? What did you grow out of? What television show? What music did you know? Being able to explore those interests are really important as you guys navigate into another school year. People are not parents, right? One of the things I want you to think about is kind of in these next couple months for the rest of 2024, what do you need? Who do you need in your life? What do you need to cut off? What added to your life or what subtracted to your life? And it's all about those things that really contribute to your wellness. So, one of the things that I know is really big is seasonal affect disorder, right? And just preparing for that. I'm not saying everybody has that, but preparing for that. Now I'm on the East Coast, there's a lot of rain, there's power outages, and climate change is real. So, how can you kind of prepare? We don't know what the winter is going to look like, but how can you prepare? How can you get your wellness basket, your wellness task, your wellness activities to really help you navigate the fall and the winter? And so you just kind of take that momentum that you had in the summertime and keep it up and maybe add and subtract. So wellness is really important for your professional, your personal, your relationships, platonic and intimate, and just overall your own relationship with yourself. So that's something I just want you to think about.